Like going up to your little...
No. Sorry. To the
the main
to the main inn.
Yep.
Can I have a bread and a stew?
Yep. That's being served around. There's going to be about 10 other locals there.
Who's doing the serving? Sorry.
The serving is Peony.
Peony, can I have a cider with my stew and...
Certainly.
Thank you.
And while you're there as well, both Mal and you, are you sitting with Mal? Or?
Yes, that's fine.
You can see that, Knowledge is there with this farmer with the big straw hat, and he's got 2, like, bear traps. And he's putting them over the shoulder's neck and basically saying, it's atrocious, sir. It's atrocious. And, I don't know. 4 of them were killed. He says, look, well, you go and basically see if you can catch something there tonight.
4 what were killed? What have I missed?
Was there a trap at the other farm?
There was a trap on the ridge where those thieves were up in near the Druid Stones.
They had set a trap, maybe.
Yeah.
Good sir, what 4 have been killed?
Sheep! Cry sheep! Not just kill, torn asunder!
Well, that's interesting.
It's a dragon.
I reckon it's the bloody mate of that bear that we killed about 4 years ago.
Could be. Do I get my dinner, sir?
You do?
Just mind my dinner from it. I'll be back in 5. And I'll take my mug of cider outside. Hello.
Okay, soft snoring sound from one of the stalls, and she's on her back in the straw, where she kind of fell off the thing, still there.
I will, where the straw meets the corner of the wall, I will take a little hole there and put my cup down into it and leave that for her. Now, she said to me that those flowers...
In the backyard.
So I'm going to go to where she vaguely described to see if I can see them.
There's a gate that goes back to a small copse of wood in the back of the garden.
Yes.
And there's also a stone, bathhouse that some people have used. You go out there, they fill the place with hot water, put braziers of fire in there to keep warm and things like that. So that's in the area as well. In one corner, there's some benches for people to sit on. There's a small round table that sits near a well that's there as well, a stone well in the back.
So it shouldn't take me too long to just walking and look for this very specific blue.
It's like a blue that has like almost metallic silver flakes on it. Is what you saw in the flower.
So can I see any of it in the backyard?
Oh, it's going to be an 18 perception to find it.
Isn't this one of those situations where you do a 10-minute?
Oh yeah, you can hang around,
yeah.
Tell me where you're looking in the backyard.
Generally, I'm going to do a sweep. There's the bath. There's a fence, did you say, or a gate to a copse?
There's a gate that goes through to open land with a copse of woods out the back.
We'll leave that for last. But initially, I'll just literally do a sweep and then a sweep and then a sweep. Just looking around things, under things. If she said these tiny flowers were from here, that's what I'm really looking for. I'm not looking for blues or greens or oranges. I'm looking for this metallic blue.
You eventually find some very dried, dying flowers, just a few of them, that they're growing at the top of the stile gate that opens into the back.
Then I shall proceed beyond.
And then you can see there's like 2 or 3 very tiny flowers there.
So I'll go back and tell these two. That's all I was trying to do, was to find out if we could see the flowers up here. I don't know what it means, but I found some flowers.
Okay, so things settle down at lunchtime. Nothing much else has happened. Knowledge comes down to say that anything further you found out about these grim goings on. And I was going to arrange to try and send news down to maybe the Emotion Church in Gablehead. Unless you were going to look into it yourself.
Yes, I will.
Acknowledges that you're basically in charge of the case.
When we were at the trollop farm, what happened to the family?
He sent them to Coltax.
He brought it in. Yeah, that's right.
And that's where he sent his wife and children. And that's where he intends to leave eventually.
After his
in the
contract
future.
is finished. Did it say when the contract was meant to be finished?
It was open-ended for when it was finished.
Okay.
Oh, there are clauses there, basically, until they share the land until a point that all of their land is sold, and then basically the money from that goes to basically is distributed amongst all the signatories.
Okay.
Like the things Mal's probably concerned as a motion lawyer is that these guys have got land. That's what their contribution to the contract is. It doesn't really say what Silas is. He hasn't got land or anything. What his contribution to the contract.
He's got the product.
It doesn't say what he is bringing to the contract. Nothing's mentioned about that. So it's another oddity in the contract.
He's the odd seller.
And they get 1,000 gold pieces a year for just sitting there waiting.
And it doesn't actually say what they're using the land for at all. Just
Yeah, they all own the land, but Silas is now a co-owner. They all now equally show, instead of having just their farm, they equally own all the farms, and Silas is one of the people who now owns it equally with them.
so they own like half of this valley. So.
What are these farms for?
Oh, some's wheat, some's sheep.
They're not all the same.
No, not all the
They're-
same.
they're
No,
all
they're
different.
All different farms.
Right.
They're in the state of closing down. Like if like if you go say, as an example, they say the farm that's closest by that belongs to Narrabeen, that's got about 2 pigs left on it. It used to be a big piggery, but now 2 pigs doesn't run a farm. Things like that. He's just got things to if he wants bacon, right, and things like that. He's got you can have a pig killed and that type of thing. So they're just very basic. They're just very
More like
basic,
homesteads.
low self-sufficient farms at the moment, where they used to supply the inn and villages in the Fenwick Valley. They would used to do a big farming trade.
So let me get this straight. So they all signed this contract in 2141.
Yep.
And the contract was
+1.
that
They signed it +1 person.
Yeah. But they signed the contract that each person that signed the contract would get 1,000 gold pieces a year for an unspecified number of years,
right, until their land is sold.
until their land is sold.
Yeah.
So until all the land is sold.
All the land is sold. Yeah. Oh, sorry, no, there'll be actually a clause in there that says none of them can sell their land individually. It all must be sold together.
I look at the contract. What do I think is happening with the 1,000 GP for Morley?
So there's 10,000 gold pieces worth.
His money would normally go to.
No, it goes to the other
It would go
farmers.
to them according to the contract. The money would go to them.
The other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His contribution is now null and would be now null and void. No more 1,000 for his bit.
Yeah.
But any money, property he's got would go, would belong to the whole cabal of people. Later in the afternoon, another person comes back. It's the person who took the old lady back home, and he is in a state of distress. He's come back with very dishevelled, right, panicking guy, and he's basically saying that the mother Varia, she's all upset. Couldn't calm her down because her son wasn't there. And Nellie's saying, he died long ago. We know she's upset, right? But, don't worry about her, because she said she was frantic.
Is she usually fine? Like she sees him normally?
Oh, this has only been happening for the last March or so, over the last March before winter set in. And she's never been distraught like this guy says or anything like that, but she's now saying that he's not there and everything, and she's really upset about it. Nellie says that, look, later this afternoon I'll go down and see her and take a nice bit, some cake down for her and comfort her.
Did she ever worry about not seeing him before this past March?
No. Nellie said she was always frantic when he was away at the Elkin Wars 3 years ago, fighting for one of the Sergeant Legions, and then she used to be very distressed and would come up here and I'd comfort her all the time because she's worried what was going to happen to him. But then, the war's been over for a year now and he's never come back. Most of the soldiers have come back from the war now. He's not coming back. She came back, a March ago, she turned up saying Tarnley is back. He's not coming back. I've been down to her cottage. She hasn't seen him. When I was there, she said, "Oh, he's out at the moment," and I felt she was making excuses.
Where's her cottage?
Down by the lake.
By the lake. Is it this one in between the two tops of trees?
Yep, there's one down the lake there.
Yeah.
So yeah, this young guy's been gone since early in the morning. He's finally come back and saying, "Look, what am I going to do? She's all distressed."
We can investigate these two farms.
Nelly, I will walk with you. If need be, I can help her sleep and get rest. And that may be what she needs. And we've also heard from the fellow with the bear traps that something is killing sheep. So maybe a little armed escort.
That will be greatly appreciated, Nellie says.
Yeah.
And
I must be conscious, because the valley is such a peaceful place, to be conscious that there is someone been murdered and things like that. It just doesn't come to it.
The Canther farm is the sheep farm, correct?
You mean the one where the sheep were killed?
Yeah.
No.
No, okay. Is it the Holmer farm or is it the
I'll
Meriden?
show you because it's not marked on there.
Ah, okay.
It's a different farm. It's not because there are still some other farmers in the valley.
Okay.
Who didn't sign up to the deal. Mm.
It's one that says Janix that I've just put on there.
Janix.
He was the farmer who came in with a big straw hat.
Janix. Okay, so that's also nearby.
Yep.
So it looks like there's, I don't know, been a warpath. All of these northern... Like,
Well, it also
where's
makes me
north?
feel better about going down with Nelly because if something's been killing sheep at his property,
So, what time is it now?
Nellie,
needs
so
to go down to see.
about 3 Nellie will go, so she's got enough time to get back.
And I'll go with Nelly at that point.
Oh, where are we going?
He's going to
I'm
visit
going to visit the old lady.
Old lady.
Mother Varia's cottage to see.
How long does it take to get there?
It'll take about an hour and a half.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. So it should be. If you go at 3, you should be back around sundown.
Isn't it winter?
Won't be sundown be early before.
If it's bad, they can always stay at the Varia farm.
That sounds suspicious.
To be,
Well, she's
Look
been
through
on
the
her
night.
own all day, and
I think we should go today.
Toby went and said she was a bit upset. So
So let's do it
So
today.
she's got some from Deshawn, some bread, some cake.
Old lady Barrier doesn't need to be.
Well,
Look
she's
through
been
the
on
night.
her own all day, and
I think we should go today.
Toby went and said she was a bit upset. So
So let's do it today.
So, are you going by yourself?
I was gonna go as
with
well.
Nelly.
Oh, right.
yeah, he's going with Nelly.
I look like by myself. That'd be suicide.
He's got a matronly woman to guard him.
I can hide behind her.
Okay.
Here is where the sheep were murdered. This is where the crazy old
sheep
lady
were murdered.
thinks she sees her son. And that's
Yeah.
where there's things of the ghost.
What's the plan? Are we going to this woman's place and then staying there the night, are they?
Maybe.
Probably.
So what's happening to Nelly?
That's what she's going to be doing as well. That's where she's going.
Doesn't she expect to come back today?
Well, but certainly if she has an escort with her, it's better to come back in the evening because she'll have people with her.
Well, we shall head off then.
Oh, also, when you're leaving as well, the gentlemen farmers are all patting each other on the back in the main inn, and they look like they're heading back to their farms.
Okay.
Silas says,
See
make
which
sure
one
you're
buys tonight."
back tomorrow, and also one more span, and you will all be rolling in it. So you're all going down there, aren't you?
Yes.
Right, so you're leaving the inn behind at about 3 in the afternoon.
As we walk along, I shall quiz Nelly about the ghost of Morley Farm.
Well, she's heard the stories, but and she's been up there to lay flowers on an anniversary once, but she felt a little chill, but she never saw anything.
What kind of flowers?
She basically they're pink daisies that grow there.
No.
What are these little blue ones I see?
She looks at you quizzically.
With little metal sparkles on the petals. We saw them
It's like she recalls something, but Have you
in the snow.
it's something she doesn't grow herself or anything.
Oh, it does. It grows in your backyard. I saw it this afternoon.
She kind of looks at you when you're saying it, and
Tiny little blue flowers.
where did you find it?
And I described where in her
Okay.
garden.
Oh, she says if it's in the backyard, that's where we play cards in the early hours of the morning. I went out this morning to tell the ladies I play cards with that we weren't playing today. Usually 2 of them are there, but only Nala was there this morning.
Why would her presence have something to do with blue flowers?
Well, it's normally Prionith and Nala who she with.
Yes.
Nala is a water nymph. Prionith is a dryad, and where she walks occasionally, these flowers spring.
Oh.
That helps make a little bit more
Sorry.
sense of things.
Nala is the water nymph.
A dryad.
Yeah.
Is there a big tree in the farm at that where the murder thing is?
Behind the Tinker Zone,
Yeah.
there's a copse of trees there.
Yes.
There was a copse of trees in the farm as well.
Yes.
Inside the farm.
Inside the farm grounds,
Yes.
Yeah.
right opposite the Black Dragon barn you're in,
Yeah.
next to the farmhouse,
Yeah.
there's a small copse of trees. She confesses that, like, there are fey creatures you may have encountered around the inn,
Yes.
and for many mornings now, she basically, it's her grandmother who told them about the creatures. Her grandmother used to play cards with these creatures, and they would talk about the valley and things going on. And now, over the last 3 years, I've been invited too, and so it used to be Prioneth's sister as well, but she hasn't come from any. She's more estranged than her younger sister. The younger sister, Prioneth, is basically more interested in the human world. Her older sister isn't.
So you play cards?
Yep. Dragons.
Yeah. You play cards with forest spirits. It's for forest spirits.
Spirits of the Sorrel Valley.
Right. Good to know.
It's their interaction that they have with the human world. I talk about their world, they talk about theirs. Changes, and they're interested in things that happen across the world as well.
Are they?
Usually just once a week in the mornings, and we were supposed to play this morning, but I thought I'd better let the ladies know because of the troubles at the Tipsy Tinker. But as I said, there was only Nala there this morning.
Well, two-handed dragon. It's not the best game in the world.
Oh, it's a nice leisurely walk there. It's not snowing anymore. Nellie mentions that she thinks, looking at the snow on the ground, that you can start seeing grass coming through now, that it may have a quick thaw this winter. You get to basically the edge of the lakes. You can see there's some boat houses there. There's a big rocky area where the big bluff goes up, and there's lots of. It's like a violent, like, steam comes out of that about every 5 to 6 or so minutes, and then it dissipates across the water, and then another big billow of steam will come out. And as you walk along the shores of the lake there, you eventually see the cottage up ahead, a few small groups of trees here and there around it, and there's a small balcony at the front of the cottage that goes over the lake itself. So you can see in the distance the Genix farm. You can see about 6 people in the farm who are working back and forth in the field, seem to be rounding the sheep into the pen for the night. And yeah, you can get quite up to the cottage, big thatch cottage, 1 story, extended balcony that goes into the water on little pylons. And there's steps that go at the front, and then goes up to the side of the building, then around to the front balcony, the stairs, takes you across the water. Nellie can come hurrying up with a little bundle of goodies.
With 3 or 4 metres away from the building, I'm just going to do a circumnavigation from lakeside to lakeside, just looking to see if I can see little blue flowers.
Are you going to cross the whole lake, are you?
No.
Or just more in the immediate area?
Where it meets the lake,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around the front
See if there are
to the other
flowers.
side,
Okay.
and just keeping about 3 or 4 metres from the side of the building, just having a look while they do whatever they do. 'Cause
Yeah, well, you're on flower detail.
Yep.
Nellie goes up the steps and into the front balcony, and she knocks on the cottage door, which is opened by a very tearful-looking Varia.
With
Nellie can come hurrying up with a little bundle of goodies.
We're 3 or 4 metres away from the building. I'm just going to do a circumnavigation from lakeside to lakeside, just looking to see if I can see little blue flowers.
Are you going to cross the whole lake? Are you?
No.
Or
Where
in the immediate area? do you mean?
where it meets the lake,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around the front
See if there are
to the other
flowers.
side,
Okay.
and just keeping about 3 or 4 metres from the side of the building, just having a look while they do whatever they do. 'cause
Okay, well, you're on flower detail.
Yep.
Nellie goes up the steps and into the front balcony, and she knocks on the cottage door, which is opened by a very tearful-looking Varia.
When she starts talking about this,
Yeah.
I just have a quick look around the house to see if there's any trucks.
He's always been a bit sick. He's got his room downstairs, basically, and I've looked after him there, and I've nursed him back to health from the wars, but he gets upset occasionally. He might have a bit of a tizzy, and then he'll go for a walk, and that's where he's now. I just don't want him getting sick again because he always gets sick. He gets feverish.
What kind of fever?
Very. I hope it's not Holocian fever. We had it once here in the valley.
May I look in his room to see if there's anything that would
Certainly.
see where he might walk off to?
Okay, you guys, no flowers, you can see.
Okay,
See some crayfish.
What about the footprints?
I'll give it to me. I'll put them
Footprints.
up.
You do see some footprints in the area. You're not a tracker or anything like that.
Hey?
Anything tracking you've got? Otherwise, it'll just say, well, I'll sign a perception check too if you haven't got tracking.
I have a training,
No.
+2 for tracking.
There you go.
Okay. Well, the tracking, it'll be,
Tracking
you're not a
ability.
tracker, but you're trained in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see, 18 is to find any definite,
I reckon you can do
any
it.
definite
You still
signs
roll
of trails.
16 or more.
As in identifiers, just tracks.
Not even close.
And now, do you want to see? Because this is just perception.
Their
But
feet.
perception, if you've got no skill, is 20.
No.
No, there's evidence that tracks there, but not distinguishable what they are.
I was just wondering. She said that he's left. I was just wanting to know if there's actually tracks leading away.
That
from the
lead
thing.
away, yes.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my
yeah.
question too.
Yeah.
Not so much to track them, just to see
Oh, no, definitely.
whether someone was here and
Definitely,
someone's gone.
okay. There are tracks along the lakeside,
Yeah.
right? And there's tracks going towards
And they're
Janik's
recent.
farm.
And they're
Are they
recent.
shoed tracks or are they bare feet tracks?
Shoe tracks. Bedroom, you can see there's this. You go downstairs, there's a room that's in a basement downstairs of the place. It's got
Okay.
shored in with rock, etc. You can see that there's a bunk there. The bunk looks broken in places. And you can see there's things, there's a Sardian uniform there that's hanging up. And you can see that there's like a chest that's broken and there's some clothing that's spilled everywhere. And there's a big iron chain that's attached to iron ring on the wall that goes lying on the floor. It's got about 6 feet of chain, and the manacles at the end of it have been broken apart. Ta-da!
Okay. Does it look like
It's a
there's,
bondage slave.
there's like markings on the walls or anything?
Scratch marks.
Just scratch marks,
Yeah.
nothing else?
No.
Okay.
What's the moon phase?
Eldoria has a full moon that lasts 3 days, and you're in the second phase of the full moon.
Okay.
Second day of the full moon.
Um,
Okay, there we go.
Is there anything in the... Are there any drawers or anything that I could open to see
There
if
was a
there's any...
chest in the room. That
Just
was
the
broken.
chest, there was nothing else.
Yeah. There is what I think it looks like 3 or so potion vials, but they're broken and it's like stained the clothes that were in there.
Stay in the clothes. Can I smell the clothes to see what the smell of these potions were?
You know, you got herbalism or anything.
I
like
just
that?
have cooking, so if it's any kind
Okay,
of clothes,
I'll just assign you with your cooking skill a high thing then
Yeah.
because it's related. So just 18 is the roll.
I'm gonna roll like I did before. Oh, actually, that's not bad. My plus 19. Barely scraped it in. Barely scraped it in.
Distinctive smell of belladonna
Belladonna. Okay.
Belladonna.
in the potion.
Belladonna. Okay.
Belladonna.
In the potion.
Do I know what that would be used for within, like, making a potion?
You're not an alchemist or a wizard or anything
No.
like that. No. Outside where you guys are hanging around there's a figure of a man slowly coming down the hillsides.
Oh, let us wait by the bottom of the stairs.